Washington, D.C. from Augusta Regional Airport. The live Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
Showers and thunderstorms pushing into the CSRA. I'll let you know if that means a wet weekend ahead in your full Viper 6 forecast.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 4, it's round 2 of the 2023 Masters. We'll have a live report from Augusta National Golf Club. Plus, week 1 for Central EMS ambulance service in Richmond County. We'll see how they're adjusting during Augusta's busiest week. And a look at bills passed before South Carolina's legislative crossover deadline. As your news at 4 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is Wjbf News Channel 6 at 4.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a special welcome to our Masters visitors. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jenny Montgomery at Television Park.
I'm Brad Means, live at Augusta National Golf Club as our Masters coverage continues. And today, as we've been talking about all week, all eyes were on the skies as patrons tried to prepare for whatever might come weather-wise. We saw plenty of them with umbrellas and rain gear and all sorts of things, including that full green rain suit. That guy looked great, didn't he? They wanted to make the most of their time out here before Mother Nature interfered. Best.
I actually brought a rain jacket, and then it got hot, and I said no dice, so I'm going to steal Dad's umbrella if it happened.
Yeah, a lot of positive attitudes out here, people just wanting to have fun while they could. There was a delay of about 17 minutes weather-related, but play has resumed on the golf course. Off the golf course, we wanted to know if people were true golf patrons, if they really had a knowledge of the game. So we did a little golf lingo challenge for some patrons out here today, threw some terms at them to see if they could define them and prove that they belonged.
What is a fried egg?
Fried egg, that's when the ball goes real deep into the sand trap.
You did it! See, John, I knew you got it. You had it. See?
I feel around fried egg.
Right. What's an ace?
A hole in one?
Ding, ding, ding. You got it. There you go.
Not too shabby. Looks like a couple of A-pluses there for those patrons. They know their golf, that's for sure. Our coverage continues, Jenny, in just a little bit, weather permitting, which, I mean, it looks decent right now. I know Miller is, kind of having a negative outlook on the whole thing, but we'll turn that frown upside down and stay here as long as we can.
And I'll work on Miller here on this end, Brad, okay?
Please do. Thank you.
See you later in the newscast.
Okay.
So we did have sunshine earlier today, but they
Go into the rest of time, as you can see here on our Futurecast. Going into Saturday morning, we're going to be seeing that rainfall and then even more rain as we head into the rest of your weekend into Saturday night as well. So it certainly is a very wet pattern ahead as we go into the weekend and into your Easter Sunday. I'll have all the details in your full Viper 6 forecast.
All right, thank you so much, Miller. The rain has caused a popular outdoor concert event to move indoors. Kim Vickers has new details about the Major Rager.
The weather may be changing venue plans, but it's not changing the great entertainment the Major Rager has brought over the last 9 years. The concert was scheduled to take place at the Sharon Jones Amphitheater in North Augusta, but the threat of bad weather had organizers moving it indoors. Organizer George Clausen says he's grateful to the people at the Imperial Theater for allowing the concert to be held there.
The Charles and the Imperial, they're so great, and they really pulled everything together, kind of like, can we do this? How are we going to do this? And like, oh, worst case scenario, we'll just move it a couple weeks. Which we didn't want to do that.
The Major Rager is put on by Friends with Benefits Productions to benefit different nonprofits. The organization has contributed to charities like the Ronald McDonald House and St. Jude's Hospital. This year, $5 from every ticket sold will go to the Hale House Foundation, a transitional recovery program for men struggling with substance abuse.
It's just super important, especially with like the pain pill epidemic that's going on and just so much stuff. It's a lot of kids are either having to get sober or dying, and it's that serious. So really trying to help focus on the Hale House and all the good things they do.
The Major Rager will take place here at the Imperial Theater Saturday night. Doors will open at 6 p.m. and the music will start at 7. Tickets are still available online, and you can find the link to that over at our website, wjbf.com. In Augusta, Kim Vickers, WJBF News Channel 6.
If you were at the airport this morning, you may have seen this: a pilots union protesting at Augusta Regional Airport. They work for NetJets, the largest private jet company in the world. Members are hoping it will result in what they call fair compensation. Paulette Gilbert, who is vice president for the union representatives, explained why employees are demonstrating today.
This is very important to us. It's not just a few rogue individuals who are unhappy, it's the entire pilot group. And so far, they failed to recognize that, and we need to bring awareness so that they see that.
Some of the pilots protesting today were from Texas and California. The union's last protest was in February in West Palm Beach. Central EMS is helping keep people safe during Masters Week in spite of an earlier than expected start date. Bria Smith has more about the team's first week on the job in Augusta.
Most times, a 911 call requires quick response time, and that's something Central EMS has been ready for since their arrival in Augusta earlier this week. EMS service providers are used to emergency calls, but no one expected to get a call like the one they did last Saturday night. People from North and South Georgia, as well as right here in the CSRA, are on the job, making sure the people are safe.
Everything's been moving at 100 miles a minute, but everyone's been working together as a team. Even employees that came over, plus employees that have come throughout the state that work for Central. I myself am from North Georgia. Everyone's just working together to get the transition as smooth as possible and to keep the units in service and serving the citizens of the county.
Staff, first responders, and crew members say though the transition happened all so fast, their time serving people in Augusta has been timely and efficient. In Augusta, Bria Smith, WJBF, News Channel 6.
An arrest has been made in a Richmond County murder. 23-year-old Tevin Lloyd is now in police custody. He's accused of shooting to death 24-year-old Marquez Bachnight. The victim was killed yesterday on Kensington Drive South in Augusta. The coroner says Bachnight was shot at least twice. He died at Augusta University Medical Center. Police are looking for any information leading to an arrest in the death of a 15-year-old. Last night, Zaire Person was shot along Old McDuffie Road. Investigators believe it may have occurred during a large splat party that took place at several locations. One person is dead after a single vehicle crash in Aiken County. It happened just after midnight on Dixie Clay Road near Sand Lane. That's in Beach Island. The coroner's office says the driver of the car hit a tree and died at the scene. The victim's identity has not been released. The American Civil Liberties Union is speaking out about the 2023 legislative session in Georgia. The ACLU says they helped kill a bill that would have criminalized many protesters. The group doesn't discourage Georgians from protesting as long as the demonstrations are peaceful. They say nonviolent protests can help create change in the Peach State.
Protesting activity does have an effect on Georgia law. People are listening. And when people can see what's wrong in their communities and petition their governments, they should do so courageously because it does have an impact. And that is one of the meaningful ways to have change here in the state.
The ACLU says it plans to sue the state of Georgia after Governor Brian Kemp signed the Gender Affirmation Care Bill into this session. We are just days away from a crucial date at the South Carolina State House. The legislative crawl. Coming up, a fun downtown crawl is taking place in Augusta. How the event will help local stores and restaurants. We'll have those details for you coming up right after the break.
Sonic.
A local business partners with the Clubhouse of Augusta to give stores more exposure during Masters Week. Nikita Dennis has the story.
If you're heading downtown for some retail therapy this week,
you may have passed by a store 100 times, but this gives you an incentive to really go inside, look around, kind of explore, and rewards you for shopping there.
Downtown Soul City and the Clubhouse are teaming up to make your shopping fun with the 19th hole retail crawl. 13 downtown stores will give people grand prizes when they shop in at least 3 locations, collecting points as they go.
We do have these cards, so everybody can get a golf scorecard at each store. So we all have these, and we all have cute little golf pencils as well. So you would fill out your card just like you would a golf scorecard.
Gretzky Records is one of the stores participating in the retail crawl, hoping to get more exposure.
So we've been open since 2016, and we moved downtown 2 years ago. And we sell new and used vinyl, CDs, cassettes, turntables, just audio equipment, and anything for the pop culture lovers, and try to have everything.
Soul City and the Clubhouse help local entrepreneurs promote their businesses. They say this event is important during a time like Masters Week because people may frequent the downtown area for restaurants only. But these retailers want shoppers to know they're there too.
What we're trying to do is promote retail in the downtown area because that's kind of what downtown lacks is like a really good quality retail. So there's several of us that have really nice retail stores, but people don't know about it.
A lot of these stores get a lot of additional foot traffic throughout the week and customer loyalty, but I think most of it's really just discovering what's in your hometown or travelers discovering something new about Augusta that's to love.
Lots to love about Augusta. The retail crawl ends April 10th. We have the information and stores listed on our website to get you started. Don't go away. Meteorologist Miller Hyde is next with your live Viper 6 forecast. We'll be right back.
I'm Attorney G right now.
The ICOTS law firm is partnering with litigation firms to fight for women who have been harmed by the use of chemical hair relaxers. A recent study showed that women who used hair relaxers 4 or more times a year were twice as likely to develop breast cancer or uterine cancer. If you or a loved one have suffered from any of these symptoms and suspect the condition could be a result of using hair relaxers, call us today for a free case evaluation. We're not just taking on cases, we're taking on causes.
If you're watching this,
North, possibly low 50s to the south. So here's your 10-day forecast. You can see that we do have that rainy and wet holiday weekend, then temperatures in the 60s by Monday, then Tuesday comes along, temperatures warm up to the 70s, and then more rain for the end of the week.
All right, Miller, thank you so much for that. Coming up today is a day to put a pause on your spring cleaning. I like that. We have the story for you when we come back.
On previous cases or share your story at wjbf.com/cold case. Cold Case Project, only on News Channel 6.
It is National No Housework Day. That means drop the vacuum, don't touch those dishes, save the laundry for tomorrow. It's your day to take a break and do whatever you want to do. The creators of a website that sells health and relaxation products came up with National No Housework Day back in the 80s. They wanted to remind people to use this opportunity to read that book they've been meaning to read, or go for a long work, or just take a nap. No problem with that. There's more coverage you can count on coming up on News Channel 6 at 5:30, including the latest in Justice Clarence Thomas.
The live Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
Our calm morning has turned into a wet and wild afternoon time with now a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 6:30 for Johnson County. We'll tell you all about where that storm is headed and what we can expect for the rest of tonight and our Easter weekend, all coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 6, play suspended during round 2 of the Masters as some rough weather rolls in. The latest on how long that weather will last and whether play will resume. Plus, that weather bringing high winds and lightning and causing some trees on the course to fall. We'll have the latest on that.
I'm George Espen at Augusta National Golf Club. The celebrities are out. Out there somewhere. Your news at 6 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and a special welcome to our Masters visitors. I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thanks so much for joining us. Before we get into our Masters coverage, we want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller for the latest on this rough weather that's rolled in. Tim.
We'll have much more coming up in sports. Reporting from Augusta National Golf Club, Brendan Robertson, WJBF News Channel 6.
Well, we've talked about it all week long, the threat of bad weather interfering with this tournament. But patrons we talked with say they're not going to let it impact their outlook. Brad Means has that story for us.
Friday at the Masters, and so many patrons are following the Scout motto, be prepared, ready with their rain gear. Others unprotected from predicted storms. What were they thinking?
My thoughts were I needed an umbrella, and I couldn't find my umbrella.
Very optimistic.
It's not going to rain. How do you know?
I can feel it. I can smell it.
But you still want to be ready just in case, right?
I'm from Florida. I'm used to it.
I'm a Georgia girl. I'm used to this weather.
Now, here's a wise patron, bedecked in green and hedging his bets.
Honestly, I'm wearing it hoping that it doesn't, work out and doesn't rain. But if it does, I'll be laughing and sweating.
And enjoying this place while you can. Even a wet day here is arguably better than a dry day in the real world.
It's the Masters. Do you need to say more? It's the Masters. I'm going to stay out here, rain, sleet, or snow. Thank you.
Well, a lot of positive outlooks out there for people. They're saying they're going to make the most of their Masters experience, rain or shine. And don't forget to join us tonight for Masters Report. Brendan, John, and the whole crew are working hard to bring you the best Masters coverage you can find. We'll have highlights and reaction to the first round and look ahead to the weekend, and that's tonight at 11:10, right after an abbreviated News Channel 6 at 11. It's been almost a week since Central EMS took over as the city's ambulance provider. Tonight, hear from the company's CEO about how things are going and what the future for that company holds. Stay with us.
Woo, sausage! Zaxby's.
Leaders at Central EMS say they're working to meet the needs of Augustans as the city's new ambulance provider. It's been 5 days since the Central Group has taken over in Augusta. That change coming 3 weeks earlier than expected. The president of Central EMS and the rest of his team appreciate the welcome they've received and the space the fire chief made for them.
It's centrally located. It's in the center of where the call volume is. So it's working very well from us. And the fire department made this turnaround for us in a very short period of time and said, here's you an operation point to start with. So we're grateful to them for that, and it works.
Tuesday, a meeting will be held to discuss further details about the city's partnership with the paramedic service. South Carolina's legislative crossover deadline is Monday. That means any...
Sponsored by Solvay Specialty Polymers, Piedmont Augusta, Security Federal Bank, and News Channel 6.